Welcome to the 𝗘𝗃𝗿𝗁𝗂𝗃. My name is 𝗕𝗺𝗏𝗃. Today, we will be talking about entrepreneurship opportunities for immigrants. Now, before we proceed, show your love, show your support, subscribe, like our contents on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, Instagram, TikTok, whichever platform you're listening to this podcast from. Show your love and your support, though. That would most definitely fuel our confidence and make us keep doing this. So the number one is introduction to entrepreneurship. We understand that entrepreneurship is, business, the creation of service to end users. And it is an exchange of service for money or assets, or whichever one you call it. So as an immigrant, the fact that you come from another man's country into a first world country, into other people's community, you have to think outside of the box. You can't just be in the box and say, okay, I'll get the right paperwork and start a job and just keep it that way. Life happens, things happens, and these things, they are designed to build your resilient skills, your perseverance, which is one of the skills that you need to become successful. So, and another thing I should say is this: a lot of people will tell you that you have to be the citizen of that country to participate in businesses. That's a very big lie. Take, for example, we come from Lagos, Nigeria. And in Lagos, for example, one of the most successful businesses, I'm talking about, the owners, the founders of businesses. I'm talking about shopping malls, food canteens, clothing companies. In Lagos, for example, those businesses are owned by foreigners. And it would never make sense to me why people from that country, they are not going into businesses like this. So you are doing that country a favor if you decide to start a business in that country. They won't stop you, though. I promise you. They won't teach you how to start a business. I think I should tell you this. You would have to figure out a way to maintain your business. And on today's podcast, you know me, I'll tell you how it is. I'll tell you where to get the money. I'll tell you when to fund that business and how to go about maintaining that business. So the next one, we'll talk about understanding the entrepreneurship mindset. This is the mindset that most business owners, especially small business owners, they don't have. And life will teach you this. Life taught me this, though. Your first business is usually not the business that will shoot you to the stars. There are some lessons attached to being an entrepreneur that you learn from failure. School can teach you this. A mentor can teach you this. But if you're lucky, though, a mentor that has an experience like this is going to prepare your mind. Just the same way I'm preparing your mind right now. That your first business, like there's a very, very big chance you will fail. And when I say you fail, there's a very big chance you will fail 5 to 10 times in that business. And you have to hold on tight. Would you believe something that at the inception of Amazon is like $1 trillion industry, like not even industry, like business corporation. Because now Amazon is into tech too. You get me? Amazon is a service company. At the inception, like 13 years into the creation of Amazon did not make a profit. Not one profit like this in 13 years of their creation. And another thing I want to say to burst your bubbles, Facebook didn't make a profit. No, not a profit. Facebook didn't sell anything in 7 years of their creation. If that doesn't tell you anything about business, my good friends, holding on tight. Either you make money or you don't make money. There's a big chance you won't make money at the inception, though. Holding on tight. That is the secret of being an entrepreneur. But majority of the time though, we invest our whole and, we want to be a millionaire next week. It doesn't work like that. So this is a mindset. This is an entrepreneur mindset that you need to have. You need to learn how to overcome challenges and embrace opportunities when it's being presented to you. I just told you just now, there is always business transaction that goes on from morning, afternoon, and night. Even in the midnight, human beings are designed to transact business with one another. You get me? That is an opportunity you have to embrace. If you are in any country, any first world country, whatever country it is, second world, third world country, I promise you there is transaction of business that goes on every day. People need to eat food. People need to drink water. People need to use internet. People need life insurance. People need safety measures. People need a house. People need, you get me? Like, you need to get a pen and paper and think outside of the box. Your full-time job, it's good. I'm a software engineer myself. But my software engineering job, when I had it, that wasn't what set me free. The software company did set me free. And other businesses. Learn to think outside of the box, my friends. Now, navigate the entrepreneur ecosystem. What does that mean? What does it mean to navigate entrepreneur ecosystem? There is levels to this, my good friends, and there is stages. The startup stage, the funding stage, or let's say the funding stage, the startup stage, or whichever one you want to. I prefer to start up first, have a leverage, have my market, my market base, and then start funding. Well, some people will tell me, okay, they prefer to fund first. What I'm saying in a nutshell is, if you want to do it by yourself, or let's say you want to do it with your family, it's okay. It's okay. But if you believe that you will need help with, let's say, an investor or something, then I would suggest you start funding now. And that's one of the ecosystem. And you need a business plan too. You need to have a feasibility study. You need to. A feasibility study tells you everything about the business you're trying to go into. Who are the winners in that business? You need to know about the community you're diving into. Do you want to be online, or you want to do this business one-on-one? You need to know all these things though. About the crime rate in the community, about the security, the police though, the politicians, the businesses around that doesn't even have anything to do with the business you're going into. The banking system. Are you going to borrow money from the banks? These are ecosystems you need to understand about being an entrepreneur. You don't necessarily need to borrow money from the bank or from private lenders to start a business, but you need to have them as a backup plan. So even let's say you have your money that you want to use to start a business already, make it a strategy, a backup strategy for yourself to walk into a bank, deposit $20, deposit $50 into their bank, and just keep it in there. Ask them about their loan. I want to ask about loan facilities for businesses, for small businesses. How much am I allowed to borrow against? You get my point? Like against either your EIN, which is one thing is like a social security for your businesses, or how much am I allowed to borrow? Maybe 10,000, 20,000. You might be fortunate. You might be 100,000 for first-time business owner. You get me? So also you need to understand the resources and networks available for immigrants entrepreneur. Majority of the time though, some people will tell you that you have to be a citizen of the country to go into business. That's a big lie. That's a very, very big lie though. But there are certain things you can do. There are certain things you can do. It depends on the country. Some country might say that you have to be the citizen of a country before you open an account. Like let's say a business account, because you don't want to mix your private business, or no, your private bank to, and your business bank. So you need to have those separately. And majority of the time though, some people will say, okay, you need either a driver's license to open a business account, and majority of the time they will ask for 2 identification card, like either your driver's license or your green card, or employment authorization and your driver's license. Or if you don't have any of those, they probably ask you for your driver's license and your country's international passport. And the reason why they ask is just to make sure you are a real human being, just in case anything happen. So you need to understand the resources and the networks available for yourself as an immigrant entrepreneur. These are things you need to put in place and know these things. You need to know these things. So let's talk about starting a business, the practical stuff, the practical steps. I said stuffs. Identify variable business ideas. I prefer you go into business that creates services to people. And you can start by going to Google and type in businesses that create services to people in your country or in that country where you are. Like, take for example, you might be selling of food. You might be selling of water. It might be selling of clothes. Like, the world is so easy right now to some extent though. If you are a shy person who don't know how to sell things to people, okay, you can start affiliation marketing. Affiliation marketing is like you being the middleman, and all you have to do is attach businesses' affiliation code and present it to people and persuade them to use your link to buy a product. You get paid a couple of percentage, 4%, 2%, 5%. It adds up, my good friends. It adds up, man. Like, take for example, I have I think 4 or 5 links in my bio. If you decide to subscribe to those links, I get paid. You get me? Like, that is a side business. That is a side hustle. But if you want to get to the real bag, I'm talking about major bag, you have to be in charge of the risk. You have to be in charge of the profit. Like, you're not sharing the profit with nobody. You are the one entertaining everything. You get me? Like, take for example, you might just be cleaning of people's houses. While some people will tell, will say, because, people think the money is majorly at a corporate job. But that's a lie though. You get me? That's a very, very big lie. Like, people will clean people's houses. Bro, these guys make $20,000, $30,000 in a month. I know people who make $50,000 from cleaning people's houses. I'm not talking about one house. Let's say in a day you clean 10 houses. You clean 10 houses. You have a vacuum cleaner. You come here, you dap the whole house. You dap it down real quick. You do these things like 10 houses every day, and people pay you. As simple as that though. All you have to do is be a trustworthy human being and know how to persuade people and tell them, okay, this is what I want to do. You're in the business of service. I clean people's houses. I can come around with my team and clean your house twice in a week, and they pay you twice in a week. As simple as, let's say you charge $50. You and your spouse, or you and your girlfriend, or you and your brother. You get me? Or if it's just you, just learn to be a trustworthy person with integrity. Don't go into people's houses to steal their stuff. You get me? Clean their things and get the fuck out. Let's say you charge them $50 per week, which I believe is on the low end. So that means you charge them $25 per clean, which I promise you, people will gladly pay you. They will gladly pay you because it is super cheap. Now multiply that by 10 houses. That is $500 every day. You get me? Like, you are out of status. You don't have paperwork. You get what I'm saying? Like, nobody wants to employ you because you don't have the right paperwork. You can do this on the low key. On the low key though, nobody needs to know, like people don't really care. As long as you are trustworthy and they will test you. Either they leave their money around to see if you steal their money and set camera around just to see, all those things, because people are like this. And another thing you want to understand is legal and regulatory considerations. You need to have this in place for starting a business. If you don't have the right paperwork, if you go out, if you go use other people's paperwork to drive, let's say you go drive Uber or something because you think it's easy, bro, it's possible you get pulled over by police officers. And bros, you need to understand, it's not everybody that understands that you come you came into this country to make money. You're not looking for anybody's trouble. Some of these police officers, some of these people in this country, they don't like foreigners because they think you're taking their bread. You're not taking their bread, bro. You're just trying to survive. And this is how you should think. You need to think outside of the box, my good friends. You get me? You have to think for real outside of the box. Your time will come when you will, live large, live lavish, but for now, get your hands dirty, my good friends. Do your research. What can you do? What are the businesses I can go into? Even if you have your, the right paperwork, I want you to think outside of the box. Let's say you have the right paperwork. Do you want to go back to school? As you go to school, you can learn real estate, how to flip people's houses. Or let's say you don't have the right paperwork to be to be a real estate agent. You can start doing wholesale real estate, which is you're the middleman. Majority of the time, if you don't have the right paperwork and you don't have employment authorization in that country, I would suggest you be the middleman of businesses. Learn to learn to bring businesses to other businesses. Learn to persuade people, not one-on-one. If you don't know how to do these things one-on-one, learn to do this with your social media or internet. Walk up to meet a business you like or a couple of businesses you like, either through online or one-on-one, and tell them that, okay, how much would you pay me if I can bring 5 clients to you per month? As simple as that, though. You don't need to have a paperwork. Dress well, present yourself well, tell them your qualifications if you have one. Let them know your communication skills is good. How much would you pay me per month if I can guarantee you 10 clients? It's I'll pay you a lot of money in my software company. I will. If somebody tells me that, okay, how much would you pay me for Obi per month if I bring you 10 clients? Bro, I'll pay you $5,000. Conveniently, if you bring me 10 clients in a month. Yeah, I would even sweeten the deal and say, okay, if you can bring me 10 clients in a month, aside from the $5,000 you make per month, I'll give you 5% on the side per month on the previous clients you bring. Because you're saving them a lot of headache if you can think like this. You need to understand something about business. You don't necessarily need to start the business from scratch. You can be the middleman. Now, when you are the middleman and you start making money, don't just blow the money. This is when you become a businessman. You buy other people's business with the profit you're making. Because you don't have paperwork, bro. And when you buy people's business, your communication skills is good. You are a middleman. You buy people's businesses. How do you buy people's businesses, bro? Go online and type how to buy people's business. Learn to use Google. I say this all the time on this podcast. Google is your friend. Google is your best friend. When you start making that money from being a middleman, go on. It's not easy though. It's not everybody that can walk up to everybody and say, oh, my good man, my communications is very, very good. I can bring you 10 to 20 clients per month. How much would you pay me if I can make this happen? You get me? Let them sign paperwork with you to know, okay, I'll pay you so amount. People will pay you. Now, when you take that money, you don't just blow that money. You buy other people's business. Then you start your own small business and you grow. Don't get carried away, my good friends. Now, another thing is scaling for growth. You need to have strategies for scaling a small business. When you buy people's business, you need to have strategy. I want you to be in the market of having strategies for 5-10 years into the future. Have strategies for if things go according to plan and if things go for shit. Majority of the time, my good friends, things always go for shit. One of the things I notice about people is people don't like to plan for the worst. And according to the laws, bro, you have to plan for the worst and expect the best. Always plan for the worst. That okay, it's possible for all these things to collapse. What is my exit strategy? How do I pay my bills? Let's say you have a paperwork to have a full-time job. You are a software engineer, you're a business analyst, you're a data engineer, you're doing well, or you're just just whatever, a nurse, you're doing your paperwork, you're doing your job, you're making money. I want you to have plans for what if everything crumbles. Because majority of the time though, it crumbles. While people will say you have to be positive always, bro, being positive is you planning for the worst and expecting the best. This is a strategy for superior human beings. You get me? And I said something earlier that you need to have access to funding and investment opportunities. You don't need to go into all banks and borrow money, but if you can, because most countries though they won't allow you because you don't have the paperwork. Remember, this podcast is for immigrants. This is an African man podcast. Now, this is for those that they balance their life already and those that are still struggling to balance their life. Like, bro, thousands, if not millions of immigrants have come to that country where you are right now. And, they made success. It's not meant to be easy at first, though. I promise you. It's not. It's not meant to be easy at first. It is meant to challenge you back to back. So now let's talk about side hustles and diversifying incomes. You start off from being a middleman. You bring businesses, you help other businesses to bring businesses to them. Either 2 business per month, either 5, 10, 15. Get me? I know people will bring 50 businesses to other businesses. Affiliation marketing. You get me? Now, I mentioned earlier though, this is a side hustle. Either you want to have a software company where you do website development, but these things are not for everybody. You don't have to rack your head and think, oh, I need to do this. It's not meant for you. Good. But when you start making money from one, you need to learn how to diversify the incomes. Let's say you start a business, you have a store, a grocery store, where you sell food. Or let's say you have a store where you sell exchange of currency, or where you sell services like send money to your country, whatever, whichever way. Or let's say you sell cars, used cars. Learn to diversify those incomes though. You get me? Business crash, policy changes. Learn to diversify the incomes though. You get me? And if you don't have the mental state of mind to handle multiple businesses, well, I would suggest you have a team member so you can easily balance multiple income streams, because it becomes challenging when the money comes in, man. And if you're not careful, you might be carried away. So you need support system. You need people that would, genuinely support your business. Preferably if you have a spouse or you have a family or someone that, that just genuinely understands. Does that make sense? So, another thing we should talk about is building and managing multiple income streams. I think I answered that. So let's talk about exploring online businesses. I mentioned that earlier. Look into it though. Like the digital landscape for businesses, my good friends, it is wide. It is very, very wild, like very, very big. Go online and type in online businesses I can go into and start researching, through YouTube, through Google. Bro, You see, the Google ecosystem, it is your friend. I'm telling you though, spend 24 to 48 hours just going through YouTube though. I watch YouTube every day. I have to though. What are the new ways to make money? Because you know something about these foreign first world countries. If you have paperwork, when you make 100%, you have to pay back 35% to the federal government as tax. TAX. Tax return. Tax. I can't pronounce R properly, and I can't pronounce X. Tax. I can't pronounce it properly, so but you get it. So let's say you make $100. Bro, majority of the time as business owners, we spend $100. But at the end of the year, during tax period, you have to pay back 35%. Because bro, let's say you know all your profit is $100. You have to come on now. So majority of the time, people don't understand that there is something called the tax break. When you make all that money, you need to learn how to pay back. You learn how to pay back to the federal government, man. Like, don't be one of those that make 100% and spend 100%. Because, you know, these guys don't play with their money. They believe they are entitled to that 35%. And this is the beauty of the first world country. They are ready to use $1 million to destroy you just because you didn't pay back 35% of, let's say 35% of $100 or 35% of $1,000, which is $350. They are ready to use $1 million to use you as an example. They are weird, but your problem is not to think of how weird they are. Now, another thing you can explore when it comes to online businesses is e-commerce, online services for entrepreneur. I mentioned that earlier, which is you reaching out to businesses and telling them, I can bring you 10 to 20 clients in a month. How much would you pay me? As simple as that. Or you should explore e-commerce. E-commerce platform like Shopify. It gives you the opportunity to sell online. You shipping products, or you do drop shipping. I strongly believe drop shipping is dead, but you know it's possible you have a new strategy and you make this thing work. So, not to waste our time, let's go on to cultural entrepreneurship. Identify business opportunities rooted in cultural identity, and celebrate. These businesses celebrate diversity through entrepreneurial ventures. In that country where you are now, you can be the foreigner that sells the historic identity of that country or the historic ideas of that country. Either you start a shop, you start making t-shirts. Like, say for example, you can do anything. You can sell t-shirts that have cultural representation of that country. And with TikTok, with Instagram, all you have to do is post that t-shirt every day and apply, what they call a sense of urgency. Like, say for example, let's say you say, this t-shirt will be available for the next 10 days and we don't repeat the same design every 2 weeks or every month. As simple as that, my good friends. As simple as that, though. It's called cultural entrepreneurship. You should look into it. So, networking and collaboration. I want you to learn how to build professional network for, business success. This is one thing nobody talks about. It is impossible to do this thing yourself. Business is challenging, my good friends. Oh, business is challenging, my very, very good friend. You need support system. Yeah. Preferably, you need people that started the business already. Let them teach you. And business is cutthroat. Nobody wants to teach a competitor. You walk up to me, the business owner, right now, and say, I'm thinking of starting a business like yours someday. I want you to be my mentor. I promise you, he's not going to teach you. But you can come in from the angle like, I can bring you clients per month. And they will ask, how many clients can you bring me? And you tell them, I can bring you 5 clients. Because it's not easy though. Let's say each client pay $3,000 per month for that service. You can make a deal and say, I don't want you to pay me for that service. I want 10% or I want 20% of whatever they bring in. You get me? Or I want 30% and negotiate across the board. Because let's say you want 10% of 3,000, that's $300. That is still small. Because it's not easy to to get those clients, but learn to think outside of the box though. So I want you to make it an habit to collaborate with other entrepreneurs and organizations. Another thing to think about is legal considerations for immigrant entrepreneurs. My good friends, if you don't have paperwork, you better don't go out there walking into businesses like you own the place. Tread carefully, man. You get me? So there are so many legal challenges, for entrepreneurs in a country that is not yours. You get me? So tread carefully, my good friend. So that way, you don't fall in traps. Stay indoor if you have to, but use the power of the internet to reach out to businesses. You get me? And I would suggest you have a business phone, a mobile phone you use strictly for business. You get me? So, understanding immigration implications for business owners. There are paperwork, registrations that are needed to start a business, to maintain a business. You get me? Because let's say you start a business like an event space, and that venue, let's say that venue is supposed to be meant for industrial or something, and you decide to throw, or let's say that venue, you're not supposed to sell alcohol, and the people that rented your space, they started selling alcohol. Bro, you can be charged, and you don't have the right paperwork. Bro, just tread carefully out there, man. Tread carefully. Another thing you should consider is financial management for entrepreneurs. I mentioned that budgeting, that is your friend, my friend, and financial planning. Oh my God, don't miss that. Another thing is accessing financial resources and support. I mentioned earlier about making friends with businesses. You put in $20, $30, $40, $50 into their account, and you just do this back to back. You talk to their managers on, okay, how much loan can I have access to if I decide to keep saving money into your bank? I'm a business owner. Just like that. Simple. Just like that, man. Also, marketing and branding strategy. Present yourself as a man, as a woman, as a human being that has integrity, my good friends. When you say you will do something, do that, man. Effective marketing strategies, my man, for immigrants. Because once your business start going from 2, 3, 5 years in that country, nobody really cares if you're an immigrant, or you are from that country, or you're not from that country. Nobody really cares. So people care more about the service you render. So protect your identity. You get me? Like, you don't have any reason to defraud people. You don't have any reason to play on people's mind frame. Because, take for example, let's say I go to a coffee shop right now. I don't care who owns the business. I don't care if that business is owned by an immigrant, or I just have the assumptions that the fact that they run business, I'm pretty sure they are from that country. I don't really care. Now, I would start caring if I notice that there is unreasonable charge on my credit card, or let's say on my bank account, and I see that, okay, somebody charged me $500. Well, I bought coffee of $5. You get what I'm saying? So, don't do this. Like, apply integrity, because if you do this, all I have to do is call my bank and say, okay, I did not authorize this this check. And I know for a fact not to come to that business. And for people like us who have podcasts with thousands of people, close to 100,000 of people, listen to this podcast. Like, bro, I would tell people not to do business with you, that you are a fraudster. You get me? And as an immigrant myself, living in the United States, well, I have no intention in destroying anybody. So apply yourself with decency, carry yourself with integrity, and just fucking respect yourself, though. You get me? Respect yourself. So I want you to learn how to build a strong brand presence, though. Learn how to build a sense of community with people. You get me? Like, people like to feel like they are part of something, like they belong. So let's say you start a coffee shop or a grocery store or something. You want their name and email. In today's society, it's 2024 right now. You want their name and email. So that way you can send them emails on discounts or, something that is going on. Okay, we are selling so, but if you buy so in bulk, you get so amount of something in discount. And you can even introduce to them your t-shirt business. Let's say you have a grocery store, or let's say you have a coffee shop, and you can sell multiple business in that coffee shop business you have. Because, like, people don't make that much money off of coffee business. The coffee ingredient sells. It sells a lot of, it sells, because it's $1 billion industry. But at the inception of you starting that business, you won't make that much money. So you build a community off of the people that patronize you. You get me? And you start selling them t-shirt on the side. You get what I'm saying? And what you want to tell them, let's say you have 50 pieces. You let them know that, okay, we have 50 pieces of this design. As a sense of appreciation to you, you get to be one of the first few people to buy this. The first, what is that English word? It is first come, first serve. You get me? Like, it's like you are introducing a business within your business to other people. And people like exclusive stuff. Like, okay, I'm the only one that have access to this. This is 1 of 50. And you can even number that t-shirt like, okay, this is 1 of 50, 2 of 50, 3 of 50. If you have a customer that you know that, okay, this is someone you respect, or you can even do something like, you are the only one that wears 1 of 50. You get my point? Like, nobody has access to 1 of 50. So like, when you apply it like that, it's like a sense of urgency within that business. You only sell 50 t-shirts of that design per month. So it's like you're selling 2 business through 1 business, or multiple business through 1 business. So another thing we should talk about is adapting to market trends, growth. Within all the goods, you will experience the bads. Prepare for the worst, but plan for the best. You need to have a strategy to adapt to market trends. Keep your ears to the streets. Staying informed about industry trends and market demands. Adapt to business strategies to changing circumstances. Bro, I can't even preach this. In the United States, it gets extremely cold around October to April. It gets very, very cold. You need to have strategies. You get me? Like, what if your business is not making as much money as it's like it's supposed to make during these winter periods? You need to have strategies, and that is where the clothing business comes in, or other forms of online. Or you can even tell them that, okay, you can order whatever I sell online and they can get it on Uber Eats, DoorDash, whichever way. So that way you can stay in business. Another thing we should talk about is success stories and role models. You need to have people you look up to, preferably immigrants like yourself. And in whatever country you are in, this is not the time to be culture biased. You can't just say you're looking for people from the same ethnicity background as yourself. These people can be, you can look up to Indians, you can look up to Chinese, Japanese, as long as they are immigrants, they came from a country into that country you are in. Learn to look up to them and feed off of their success stories. You read their success stories though, like, okay, if they can do it, I can do it too. Preferably, if you have access to them, walk into their business and ask them basic questions though. I'm an immigrant, just like you. I am inspired by what you have accomplished so far. Any advice for me? You humble yourself though. Humble yourself. And this is one thing foreign country will teach you. Humility will take you far though. Humility and integrity. When you tell people you will do something, always be a man of, always be a human being of your words. You get me? Like, majority of the time though, when you start seeing your contemporaries rise to success, like, oh my God, they've been here for like 1 year. That person just built so house back at home. So, oh my God, that person has 2 billion. That person has 1 billion. You're stressing yourself. Your time will come. Your time will come though. Rome is not built in a day. Rome is not built in a day, my good friends. And community support for entrepreneurs. No one is going to give you money, like free money. So from what you build, learn to speak with other business owners, preferably the older generations, for advice. You get me? That, like, at the inception of it all, that is the only community support you will get. And the mentorship and guidance, like, that is the only mentorship and guidance you want, because business is cutthroat. Nobody wants to teach a competitor. Like, nobody wants to teach people that would eventually kick them out of business. You get me? Because human beings are strange, bro. Like, you teach them something, they come for your throne, they kick you off off of your pedestal. So, to round this up, my good friends, reflection and future growth. I want you to have plans for 5 to 10 years into the future of, okay, this is what I plan to accomplish out of this business. This is what I'm going to do with the profit I make out of this business. And I want you to reflect back to back. I want you to reflect back to back, my good friends. Like, you can't lose. You can't lose. Thousands and millions of people came into that country before you, and they survived. As a matter of fact, though, that country might not be your end all be all. You might, it might be opportuned to migrate to another country, but you need to have this at the back of your mind, back to back. Everything happens for a reason, my good friends, and you are designed for greatness. Learn to be your own cheerleader. Applaud yourself along the way though. Back to back. Even when you're failing, everything is falling, like you are being crushed by life, my good friends. Keep your head up always and stand tall. Stand tall. Stand tall. Learn to see things from all angles, all strategies involved. Like, I promise you though, you're missing something. Even if you're here to figure it out, you're missing something. And this is how entrepreneurs will learn to start thinking outside of the box. Think outside of the box, my friends, and try again. Try again. Even if you're not making profit, I want you to always think about Amazon. Amazon didn't make any profit in 13 years. You get me? Like, in 13 years of, they have millions of customers, but they were not making profit. At the end of the day, you have to learn to stay strong, be bold, be rigid, stand firm. If it was easy, everybody will be doing it. And learn to set goals for future business growth and development, my good friends. Take it easy, my friends. My name is 𝗕𝗺𝗿𝗃𝗍. I'll see you around.